And President Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, meantime, joined President Zelenskyy and European leaders in Paris today to discuss efforts to end Russia's war in Ukraine. Witkoff joined the so-called Coalition of the Willing meeting to discuss aid for Ukraine. Also on that agenda, planning out military support in the event of a ceasefire in order to deter future Russian aggression. That's according to officials who spoke with the global news agency AFP. And joining us now is Liana Fix. She is a senior fellow for Europe at the Council on Foreign Relations. Liana, thanks for being with us tonight. This agreement, an agreement on security guarantees, it has been one of the central pillars for Ukraine as part of these peace talks from the start. What exactly could these proposals being discussed by European leaders look like?
So what is currently under discussion would mean that Europeans would put troops drawn from around 26 countries who have agreed to take part in one way or another in Ukraine, not on the front line, but somewhere in the back of Ukraine, in western Ukraine. And the idea of these troops is to communicate to Vladimir Putin, if you attack Ukraine again, and if any Russian missile hits those European troops, we will be there and we will be drawn into this war. So the idea is to send a deterrence message towards Moscow.
Also, a White House official said that in the president's call with these European leaders today, that the president stressed that Europe needs to stop purchasing Russian oil, which they say is funding Russia's war effort. Easier said than done for many of those countries, I'm sure. How central are those funds, though, to Russia's economy? And can Europe wean itself off of Russia's oil?
Yes, indeed. So today it's primarily Hungary and Slovakia, those countries that are particularly friendly towards Russia, that are still buying Russian oil. Russia's budget, Russia's war machine budget relies on selling oil worldwide. So what it is selling to the European Union is one small part of it, but the greater part goes out to other countries like India, which has faced tariffs from President Trump. The bigger question here, however, is how can Europeans and Americans put pressure on Vladimir Putin to prevent his strategy of just delaying talks, not wanting to meet Zelensky, not agreeing to a ceasefire? That's what Ukrainians and Europeans are actually working on, put the ball into Russia's court.
With the backdrop of all this, these discussions taking place now, Russia, though, has continued to press ahead in eastern Ukraine. Can you talk about the importance for Ukraine to reach a peace deal right now?
Yeah, Ukraine has signaled for quite a while that they are ready for a ceasefire. They are ready for a peace deal, but it has to be a peace deal which is reciprocal, which means which is fair. Ukraine cannot withdraw from territories that Russia does not even occupy and leave its residents, leave its cities, leave the property of its citizens to Russia, which is what Vladimir Putin demands in return for some very minor withdrawals of Russian troops from territories that they occupy in Ukraine. So the conditions that Vladimir Putin puts forward for a ceasefire, for a truce, and for talks are at the moment unacceptable to Ukraine. Moscow knows this. They're trying to buy time and to stay in President Trump's favor.
All right, Liana Fix, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.